Well, our first guest is joining us in studio, one of the partner companies of Digital AMN Incorporated. Their stock symbol is DATI. We're talking with Joe Rogers, who's the CEO of WorkDone Incorporated. Joe, great to see you again.
Good to see you again, Don.
It's been a while.
Absolutely, about a year.
About a year. Tell us again what WorkDone's all about.
Yeah, WorkDone is a corporate memory digital workforce platform. We basically have some patent pending tech called expertise capture that watches work come in and watches knowledge workers process that work and determines the operational best practices.
Wow.
We call that work heuristics. So we've solved the problem of knowledge walking out the door when someone retires or changes jobs. That corporate memory is retained in the organization. It can be used to train new hires or document processes or automate processes.
It's really fascinating because you mentioned that the assets of a corporation or a company are its people.
Absolutely.
People move on, they move away, they get married, they change their lives, they retire, like you say. What happens to the IT that was up here?
Well, there was an article in the Washington Post. Every day, 10,000 people hit the age of 65 in the United States. Not all of them retire, but most of them do.
Sure.
And usually the knowledge transfer that's needed to continue business operations, that knowledge transfer doesn't happen in a timely fashion, or if it does, it happens at 10 a.m. on their last day before their going away lunch. I've seen it countless times as a consultant. So the economic impact to an employer is like it's
huge.
It's difficult to quantify, but we know it's there.
Exactly.
And this is not just a U.S. issue; it's global. So what we're doing is trying to allow companies to retain their specific competitive advantage by instrumenting their back office desktops and gathering all of that knowledge, and then figuring out, okay, if you have 10 people doing one task, we can, usually there's one or two who are really good, and then 5 or 6 who are solid, and then maybe some who are less so. We basically figure out who's doing the best job with the least mistakes, the highest accuracy, and that's who we learn from. And that allows consistency across everyone in multiple locations even.
Now, how much of an education is it for client companies to realize this asset that they are, in many cases, overlooking?
Well, they feel it when they lose the knowledge.
Right.
In our case, our technology sits in the background, so there is no retraining required or training required. We basically observe and sort of record and monitor and document, and then we can come back in a month or two and say, here's your entire operation, here's your bottlenecks, and here's where we've already automated some of your steps. So what we're really doing is sort of upending the Big Four, the Price Waterhouses and the Deloittes. Instead of bringing in a small army, we don't have to set foot on site.
So your system interacts with their system. There's no infrastructure changes of any kind.
Yeah, we're SaaS first, cloud first. So we basically interface with the SaaS platforms, the Salesforces, the NetSuites that they use, LinkedIn, whatever, Marketo. And in specific cases, we can do on-premise, but that requires some on-premise customization, some installation. But by and large, we're cloud first. So we integrate with their environment, sort of plug in. They don't have to do much at all.
How about the human interaction? I mean, the people whose knowledge is being acquired, so to speak, or saved. Do you have any kind of resistance to that?
Well, there is a lot of fear about artificial intelligence and jobs being replaced. And the fact of the matter is, this has been happening throughout history. There was some guy who was replacing the horseshoes, the shoes on a horse, and then 20 years later, if he was lucky, he was replacing the brake shoes on a Model T. But in order to get people from the horseshoes to the brake shoes, the technology industry hasn't here to this point in time done a good job of assisting that transition. And that's very important to us. We don't want to introduce technology that's going to make a big impact and not consider the results. So we set up WorkDone as a public benefit corp, where a percentage of revenue funds a nonprofit called the Work Forward Foundation. And that foundation's mission is to assist workers displaced by AI or automation to get to their next thing, whatever that may be.
Now, of course, WorkDone has an offering available. What can you tell us about it? Where can people get more information?
Well, the website is www.workdone.ai, and there you will find we're basically offering at this point invoice processing into the SAP platform. We received some investment from a predictive AI company called Findability Sciences, and through them they've introduced us to a number of very large multinationals in Asia and across the U.S. And just in the last year, we were nominated for a top 50 tech company by Intercon, as well as a process platform to watch by a UK outfit called Corporate Weekly, Corporate Vision. So we're getting some accolades, even though we're still very early in the process. So if anybody's interested, workdone.ai is the website.
Fascinating technology. WorkDone Incorporated. Go to WorkDone AI for more information. Joe, always a pleasure.
Absolutely, Don. Thank you.